If I were to ask you what is stopping you from achieving the things that you want in life, you'd probably say things like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I keep procrastinating. I used to say all these same things for many, many years. And then recently I realized that actually none of those things at all. And the real thing that was stopping me was the fear of failure. In this video, I'll be breaking down why we have the fear of failure and exactly what you can do about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Will, and in this channel I help you find purpose by doing what you love. If you like the video, give it a like, click subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So now you're looking at this video, lucky you by the way, good choice. But did you know that for so long I did not post a video for about 1 year? I had around 15 or so videos lined up on my phone that I had recorded, but I didn't post a single one. Now, I kept hiding behind excuses such as, I'm not good enough, the quality isn't good enough, I don't know what I'm talking about, who would listen to me, maybe I should get a real job, maybe I should do something else. And that kept me stuck for so long, and I didn't post a single video until one day I finally posted my first video. And I can now see in hindsight that it wasn't any of those excuses at all. It was the fear of failure and the fear of judgment that held me back. And actually, looking back in life, that's held me back from so many different things, ranging from leaving my banking job that I hated, but I kept thinking, what if things don't work out? To go into salsa classes because I kept convincing myself I had 2 left feet and I'd make an idiot of myself. Even down to go into yoga classes because I thought yoga's only for girls and everyone would be laughing at me. The reality is, if I'd just pushed through the fear and done it anyway, I would have a completely different life right now. And I think a lot of us get caught in this cycle and it holds us back from so many things in life. So the question is, firstly, where does this fear of failure come from? Children don't have a fear of failure. So you don't see children learning to walk and then after the 3rd attempt they go, you know what, I'm fed up of this, everyone keeps laughing at me, I can't get it, I'm just going to leave it there, I give up. You never see that. They just keep going and going and going until they finally get it. But something starts to happen as children get older. They start to get educated into having a fear of failure. So our parents tell us that we should avoid unnecessary risks and it's better to be safe than sorry. Our friends laugh at our dreams and tell us that we should be more realistic and it's impossible. And social media glorifies winners and vilifies losers. But did you know that anyone who has ever won has also failed a lot in the process? For example, Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity. So he didn't listen, he carried on anyway, and then later on he was responsible for massive hits such as Pinocchio, Cinderella, Snow White, Mickey Mouse, and he was deemed to be one of the most creative people of the 20th century. Another great example is J.K. Rowling, who of course wrote the Harry Potter books. When she wrote Harry Potter, she was divorced, single mum, on welfare, didn't have any job. She was rejected by a dozen publishers. Finally, someone agreed to publish Harry Potter, but they actually told her to go and get a job as there's no money in children's books. She didn't listen, she carried on anyway, and now she is a billionaire. And also the average millionaire goes bankrupt 3.5 times before they finally make it. Not sure how you go bankrupt half the time, but still, I find it an interesting fact. The point being, anyone who's ever got anywhere in life has failed over and over again. So if we look at me and my first YouTube videos, they were not very good. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? Your problems and your issues again, and it's a perpetual cycle. Oh, hello, nearly slipped. It's a perpetual cycle, nothing ever changes. Now, the quality wasn't very good, the sound wasn't very good, the lighting was dodgy, the thumbnails were terrible, mostly. I had some dodgy comments as well, mainly sheep jokes as I'm Welsh. However, over time they gradually got better. So the quality got better, the sound got better, the lighting got better, the thumbnails got better, the dodgy comments didn't stop, but they slowed down. And it was quite strange because people who I was convinced would not be interested in the videos or would think of them negatively, some of them actually contacted me to say that they were useful and they got some good things out of the videos. Just a word of warning though, failures and issues and problems never stop. So now I've kind of leveled up. I'm now having bigger issues, bigger problems. So I recently had a copyright issue with a background that I was using, hence a new background. Hope you like it. Leave a comment if you do. And it resulted in me having to take down 3 videos. Now, yes, it was frustrating as that was 3 weeks work, but there was a decision to be made. Either I become demotivated and bitter and angry and give up and, well, it's obviously not meant to work out, or I could use it to fuel me. Right, this is it, I'm going to work even harder, I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen in the future, I'm going to learn from this issue, and I'm going to go back even harder. So I think this was a really good lesson in life, and this just goes to show that it doesn't matter what you do, there will always be issues, there'll always be failures, but you just have to keep going if you really want to succeed. So now I've got to the stage where I try to not even use the word failure. Obviously, I am for this video, but I don't look at it as failures. I look at it as, I guess, learnings. So what can we learn from this? It's happened for a reason. What can we learn? How can we get better? And how can we move forward? So the question is there a way to get rid of the fear of failure? So I've been reflecting on my own life and I've come out with 3 strategies that you can use now to try to minimize and get over the fear of failure. So number 1 is to get in the habit. So for example, it's like driving a car. I know when I first started learning to drive, I was so nervous, even when I first passed. I was so nervous, I had to have someone in the car with me for a while because I was too nervous to drive alone. Now I don't even think about it. It's a bit scary sometimes. I can go half a journey or a whole journey and I've just sort of been in autopilot, right? It's the same with something else that sort of scares you at the moment. So I'm not saying that you have to go and swim with sharks or go skydiving or do anything too crazy, but pick something that you've been putting off for a while that scares you slightly. And I guarantee as soon as you do that, you break through that barrier, and very often you'll probably turn on and go, what was I worried about? Are you serious? Was that it? Number 2 is to reframe fear. So how do you feel about fear right now? Is it something that must be avoided at all costs? Is it something that's terrible, that's embarrassing, makes you lose face? If so, it's an opinion that you've formed in the past. Usually, as we discussed earlier, because people told you how you should feel about fear. And maybe you've had some bad experiences. But what if you were to change that meaning of fear? So how about if fear now meant something positive? Every time you failed, it actually meant you were getting a step closer to your dreams, a step closer to success. It was a learning curve. How different would things be if you viewed fear in that way? Number 3, people don't give a f***. So probably the only time I've sworn in a video, but it will get bleeped out. Don't worry about that. For me, this was a massive realization because I think at the core of a fear of failure is judgment. We're worried about what people would think about us, what people would say about us, right? But when you get to the realization that actually people don't care, people really don't care about you. The only thing people care about is themselves and their own lives and their own issues and everything that's going on with them. Okay, so a personal example how I'm trying to implement this in my life is, for example, my taste in music. So I have quite an eclectic taste in music, ranging from classical to jazz to big band 30s music to trance to choral music, rock, anything you can imagine, right? There would be times in the past when I'd be driving in the car, let's say it was a warm day, windows were down, I'd be stopped at traffic lights, and let's say I'd have some classical music on, or something from the 30s maybe. I would, often if there were people walking around, I would turn it down, or I'd put the windows up, because I'd think, oh God, these people are judging me. They'd think that I'm uncool. Now I'm doing the opposite. Just leave it up, sometimes even turn it up as well, just to prove a point. I'll be honest, it was very uncomfortable at first because we all want to be liked. We all want to fit in. We don't want to be different. But the more I do it, the more I own who I am. And it's so empowering. I don't care. I am who I am, take it or leave it. If people want to hang out with me for who I am, fantastic. If not, if they want to go and hang out with someone else who's listening to Taylor Swift or someone who's cooler, great, go and do it, whatever. So that's something that I would say to you guys. Think of something that maybe you feel embarrassed about, that you don't want people to judge you about, and go and do it. Go and get it out there in the world. Me posting these videos, me turning up my classical music, whatever it may be, go and do it, and I guarantee you'll soon break through that barrier. Before long, you won't care what people think of you. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want to learn more, check out these videos here. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.